Hi everyone, Sean here at Stewart & Co Real Estate. Once again, this is another episode of Sun, Sea and Second Homes. I am having a chat with Danny Atwell today, who is co-founder and managing director of One Builders Limited, one of the premier construction companies on the island. Funnily enough, we're situated in Porter's Place Luxury Villas, which is a 21 villa development built by One Builders. It's a combination of 3 and 4 bedroom villas, where at the moment I'm standing in Villa 2, which is 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms with a beautiful swimming pool. And it's currently on the market. Have a look at my website, stewartcorealty.com. Without further ado, let's chat to Danny, hear what he has to say. So Danny, welcome. Thanks for taking the time to come and have a chat with me. You are co-founder and managing director of One Builders Limited, which is arguably one of the premier construction companies in Barbados. Can you tell us a bit about One Builders, what you do, the type of projects you take on, and your role as a managing director?
Yeah, thanks, Sean, for having me. One Builders, was founded by myself and James Edgell. Two of us started working 10 years ago now together, and the company was formed a couple of years later. It's evolved over the years. I've assumed your role as managing director, and that is dealing with a lot of the day-to-day operations.
Yep.
and managing the company, overseeing a lot of the departments, meeting with from HR to warehousing.
Yep.
To plant and equipment, and also visiting all the sites and meeting with the guys there.
So it's every aspect of the company, literally from coming through the door to the very
Exactly.
highest
I
echelons.
kind of oversee all those various departments.
Yeah.
James does the development side, very much involved in the strategy of the business as CEO, and all those broader developments that he's involved in.
Yeah.
And One Builders, we've generally focused on commercial projects, or that's how we started off.
Okay.
But my background was in residential as well, so we have done some lovely villas, but mainly focused on developments.
Okay.
So larger developments like this Porter's Place project that we're in today.
Yep.
But mainly geared for commercial. We've started off with a lot of the office buildings, and having the equipment to do those high-rise office buildings has led us into some of the very interesting, hotels that have come about.
Right.
Having the various scaffolding and formwork systems and lifting equipment to tackle those projects. So we've got into the hospitality range with some hotels, Beachview Hotel and Hotel Indigo.
Yep.
Is on the go now, and looking at some rather very exciting condo projects and so on.
I'm assuming that it's easier having the commercial infrastructure as a construction company to move into residential rather than the other way around, because of the complicated formwork, et cetera, that you have. Am I right in assuming that residential is probably slightly easier to sashay into from commercial rather than going the other direction?
Yes, you need less equipment,
Right.
Different skill set, and that it's more of a process to do the high end. You do have to have the right tradesmen, obviously. But yes, less equipment is really necessary because they're low rise as opposed to high rise, so you don't need the scaffolding,
Right.
and lifting equipment that you would anything over 2 stories.
And you do some civil as well. Does that fall under a separate umbrella to commercial? I'm assuming so. There's civil, commercial, and residential. Am I right?
Yeah, we have done a civil works project in Speightstown.
Yep.
What they call saltwall drainage, which was that drainage project in Speightstown itself.
Yes.
And we partnered up with C.O. Williams Construction to do that. They did the earthworks, we did the concrete works. But a lot of that form work actually came from our commercial side to do it. So we were able to do those sort of works. And a lot of our projects, because we will do everything from the project, from breaking ground to handing over the keys. We're very custom doing the roads and car parks.
Yes.
Within our developments.
Yeah.
That we're involved in. So doing those works are nothing foreign to us. We're very, very comfortable in doing everything.
Fair enough. What brought you into the world of construction and project management, and how has that journey evolved in Barbados?
It's funny. My whole family were construction.
Right.
My uncle was the general manager of C.O. Williams, and my father worked there as a director. And seemed like all of my uncles and the whole thing was construction.
It's in the blood.
It's in the blood. As a teenager, I didn't necessarily gravitate towards it, but obviously it was summer jobs and all the rest of it was always around, and it was always talk around the table. I did a stint, away 3 years, doing various things. And
okay, where was that?
UK, Ireland, with the polo game.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Then when I realized that, it's time to shelve that and move back home, one of the guys I was working for while I was here, because it was kind of summers in the UK or Ireland and it's winters back here, offered me a job. He was, in the same industry in building.
Yep.
And so I went to work with him, and kind of the rest is history. Kind of just picked everything up very quickly from there, and I was able to use my contacts from, family and everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of just grew and learned. And
I mean, goodness, we haven't even touched on the fact that you are an extremely accomplished polo player, but we'll have to set up a whole different interview for that.
Yeah. Retired.
Retired polo player, yes, fair enough, but very good nonetheless. What does successful project management look like in Barbados, and how does it differ from other countries with more developed markets?
Hard for me to say how it is different to some of the other countries. I haven't worked too much in construction in those. But project management in Barbados has actually developed quite a bit over the last 10 years, I would say. 20, 15 years ago, even 10 years ago, there wasn't a lot of true project management. I mean, we will, as one builders, will normally just deal with the construction project management, which is really dealing with everything for the company itself, scheduling, procurement schedules, and planning of that project. But there's obviously various different types of project management. There's from the pure construction side, construction management, and then project management side, which is more the client side.
Right.
And we have done, and we do both.
Yep.
Because sometimes we do wear two hats on a project, because we are involved in some of the development side.
Yep.
And it has evolved locally. There's much more players in the game nowadays in project management.
Yep.
Some are more what I would call contractor based, or come from that contractor side and have more ladies. Some of them are more QSing side, or much more analytical side of it. As projects have become more complex, it has become much more necessary to do these roles, because it protects the client. It does organize things, make sure in today's world with the logistics issues that I think we're all aware of, and some clients don't appreciate how quickly you need to order stuff, for instance.
Yes.
Just to stay on schedule and making sure things are paid when they are.
And keep prices in line.
And keep prices in line,
change.
correct. And keep contractors honest in some cases. You never know, depending on if you're now flying in and you really just fell in love with the island and want to buy a home or build. You may not know anybody on the island. At least you have that base, somebody that you can trust, that you think that's on your side.
Yes.
Because you don't necessarily know a lot of players around.
Yeah. And that's value in itself right there.
That's value in itself,
it. With more project managers on the scene now, and project management having evolved over the past 10, 15 years, has it done so for the better? Has it evolved in a good way?
Yes, I believe it's evolved in a good way, because it keeps people honest. It makes it more organized.
Yes.
It's not just the contractor, everything falling on the contractor himself. And, I think it gives the clients more confidence.
Fair enough.
The project management role is a good one and is necessary. And that's why it's grown.
Right.
More people have got into it, and it will only evolve from there.
Okay. Could you walk me through a typical project from concept to completion, phases, challenges, etc.?
A lot goes to the purchase of the land and the planning of that.
Yep.
And, my recommendation for anybody getting into that is get your team together.
Yep.
Good architect and engineer. Because in my opinion, the two of them need to work together.
Right. Okay.
Some projects, if you only go to the engineer, the architect, the engineering isn't taken into account, and it can cause some clashes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but does it tend to feel longer and slower the closer you get to the end, because there's so much minutiae that needs to be attended to? That's where it gets, I don't want to call it tedious, but the big stuff is out of the way. and then you're looking into detail, and that's where the project starts to really, I don't know if you can say feel long, but the days tend to feel longer. Would I be right in saying that?
Yes, I mean, it's longer or go by quicker because you're doing so much.
Or that, yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, the finishing stage is usually the hardest stage.
Right.
Without a doubt, because you're at the structural stage, you're dealing with, concrete and steel. You're digging you're digging the holes, you're putting marl down, and you're setting your formwork, and you're dealing with one or two contractors, subcontractors, or different trades, these steel guys and masons. As you get out the ground now, you're going into your finishes.
Yeah.
You're dealing with much more. You're still dealing with a lot of the masons, but you're into your painters and your tilers and your carpenters, and so the volume of people increases massively.
Okay.
Over as you get closer, and there's a lot of small things. Yes.
So a lot more spinning plates.
Really. A lot more spinning plates, and just getting those final things over the line can be quite challenging.
Yes, I can imagine.
In the time, because during the course of construction, people, some of those timelines might slip a little bit, and
of course
you try to catch back up in other areas. But when there's the deadline, there's no time. So it's like that sort of panic then comes in. Oh, we got to get this this done.
And there's stuff that's completely out of your control, like weather.
Yeah.
I remember when this was being built, we had I say we. You had challenges where it rained persistently for weeks, and that set everything back.
Yeah.
Which good on you, because I still try to get my head around how you manage that when no one has any control over 2 weeks that you had planned into a schedule, and all of a sudden it has disappeared and no one can account for it. Mm-hmm. There's no control.
Yeah, no control. You just got to try and roll with the punches, as they say, and the rains came a lot earlier than traditionally.
Yes.
And, it was a challenge. But
you got through it.
Every project has its challenges,
of course,
and you just got to find a way around it and push on through it. Shipping and logistics went crazy during this project. So,
absolutely, that was another. I mean, goodness, you had your work cut out for you there, didn't you?
Yeah. We had to change tact a little bit midway through, where we got a warehouse and made sure to bring everything early and store it in that warehouse, so we had a buffer of time. But still, some things, we got delayed far more than we originally anticipated.
Right.
Or that anybody could anticipate, really. Yeah. But we worked through it, and we got through it, and I think we got a good product at the end. Absolutely.
Well, there are a lot of happy residents, that's for sure. So the proof is in the pudding. How do you coordinate between architects, engineers, suppliers, clients? Are there any particular dynamics involved?
We have generally good relationships with most of the architects and engineers.
Yep.
And it's a communication thing, and it's a respect thing. I mean, a lot of it is relationships, but we do have actually a lot of kind of softwares nowadays that help us with that. So we, as one builders, we do embrace technology, and we have many ways of doing it. We have a construction software that houses all of our requests for information, submittals, transmittals, all of our daily logs, and so on. That all the information is in one spot.
Right.
And this is critical for some projects, especially when the consultants are overseas.
Of course, yeah. Okay.
Drawings houses all the drawings, everything. The client is on board. We can bring all these subcontractors within that, and we can manage the whole project in terms of the information.
Right.
Within that.
So that's got to be leaps and bounds ahead of sort of cloud storage, etc. The fact that everyone can access information now at the touch of a keypad or a button must be hugely beneficial and for ease, just as far as being able to communicate stuff to different stakeholders within the project.
It is, yes. It is. It just houses all that information, keeps it all in one spot. So it's not, it makes it simple for the contractor, the project manager, even the architect then to manage that information.
Yeah.
We've also gone into another set of technology for the hotel, which we're going to continue to employ. That is 3D cameras that when you walk around site will take an image of the entire room
Wow. Okay.
that you're doing, that you can in a live be able to see your ceilings, walls, everything. We do that once a week so that we can actually have a visual as built of all the space, the plumbing in the walls and thing before we close
Really?
them up. Yeah, that, if a particular architect or a client wanted to know if something was finished, you could
Yep.
go into that particular room and actually show him in live, like, this is
Amazing.
done, or that was not done, Mr. Subcontractor.
Yeah.
Why wasn't that done?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a very, very useful piece of equipment. We do use Dropbox as well to house all of our drawings. So
Yep.
we've gone full technology, but you still need the management to back it up.
Of course.
Technology is only as good as the information you put into it.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you still need the teams and the people there and train them how to use this technology.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm assuming that you're now relying to a certain extent on a skill of some of your staff members that you didn't have to before, which is tech.
Mm-hmm.
So there's another skill set that now has to, or at least has to be familiar.
Yeah.
Some of the staff have to be familiar with that probably they didn't before.
Yes, I mean, but the tech nowadays is much more user friendly.
Okay.
I mean, there are some, old school foremen that still work with us that are not tech savvy.
Right.
But we keep them where they're good at, making sure the work is done properly.
Yep.
And we do have more administrative roles within the company that support that tech.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, to enter the information correctly and to just do all the checks and the reports and whatever we need. Because since we have grown, we were able to put people in those positions to manage that tech.
Right. Understood. Makes sense.
That are qualified to do it. To use it. Yeah.
Fair enough. What are some of the major logistical challenges that you'll experience in Barbados, especially when it comes to importing materials and finding skilled labor?
Well, you hit the nail on the head there. I mean, material and labor are the two key logistic issues. And unfortunately, we're still having a lot of logistics issues with the shipping nowadays. Yes. It's up and down. With procurement, as everybody knows what's going on in North America.
Yeah.
That's obviously put some things in a loop there, but it seems to be settling down a bit.
Yeah.
But I think it all comes down to planning. Once you plan well and you put your orders in early, that's just what you need to do. Maybe we have extended our lead times. If something usually takes 4 weeks to come in, we might add 6. If it takes 3 months to come in, we'll add an extra month. Just giving yourself as much time as possible with today's world. And labor, I mean, we've actually, it's funny, me and James started working together 10 years now. It was only 2 years ago that we've really had our first kind of foreign manager or even tradesman that we brought in.
Okay.
We were always able to go local.
Yep.
All local staff through the whole company, but obviously taking on the hotel and so on, we needed people with those expertise. So we brought in guys for the management for that, and we ended up had to really bring in tradesmen to supplement our local staff and our local contingent. Just because, small island, and there's a lot going on at the moment.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, there's a lot of construction going on all over, and that's clearly going to impact the talent you can get.
Yeah, 100%.
And the cost at which you can get it.
100%. I mean, there's obviously limited resources in terms of talent. I mean, we've had support from the government on that. They do realize the challenges.
Yep.
And they have been allowing people to legally go through that legal state to bring people in. Because the last thing you want to do is do it illegally where they're not tracked. And
Absolutely.
They're not, and there's no record of guys coming in and out. So they are supporting the contractors in that. And we're able to bring in skilled labor to execute some of these projects.
Yeah. So this question may sort of follow on from the last one. How do delays in shipping or customs impact project timelines, and how do you manage clients' expectations around that?
It's having those conversations early. Usually we would advise clients on that from early. Tell them about the challenges, which a lot of them do appreciate, because it's all in the, it's nothing that's being hidden. Everybody knows generally what's going on. Globally, not just even on islands.
Right.
We would even share our programs and our procurement schedules with them and show them our plan and, increasing those lead times. So being transparent and communicating with them about that. And then, if ultimately it goes on longer than that, at least they can see that we've done our best.
Yes.
And that's all you can do is put your best foot forward. And we've always found as long as you do that, then usually most clients are very understanding about that.
Fair enough.
Some of these things just out of your hands.
Yeah. Is there any local or regional sourcing or innovations that you see are being implemented that are helping the process? Is there anything that can be done or is being done that is trying to ease the logistical challenges?
The port have brought in these X-ray scanners that over the last couple of years do clear shipments sooner. So they scan them actually in the port. It's funny, we actually did the structure for it. We built the structure for the scanner itself a few years back. That's helped because then you don't have to get customs officers clearing every single container.
Right.
But there's only so much we can do here.
Yeah.
A lot of it ties down to world market. And because everything is imported, there are a lot of local joiners and tradesmen we obviously work with to get things manufactured here. And there's good companies here that do that now.
Right.
We do try to use them as much as possible. But any day, most of the material is imported, and we just need to plan
accordingly. Yeah, fair enough. For someone overseas looking to build or renovate a house in Barbados, is there any particular advice that you would give them?
When it comes to that, build your team and take your time to build your team.
Right.
And background checks.
Right.
Is to check as much as possible. It's a small island. A lot of people know, especially in the game, know each other. So when you're buying your land, ask your lawyer, your real estate agents, what their suggestions, as much background checks as you can do, and just try and build as good team as you can.
Makes sense. What kind of construction or design trends are you seeing at the moment? Whether it be in hotels, you're now in the midst of building a hotel or two, or residential. Are you seeing any trends?
Well, certainly with the commercial side, a lot of trends are going industrial in that they keep open ceilings as opposed to the drop ceilings. A lot of people are going very modern kind of industrial, which you actually do see a lot of New York and London nowadays.
Yep.
A lot of places are going down that road. We just finished a lot of open ceilings up at W Plaza for Do It Best and Courts and so on. We're open ceilings and
I've been in there. It looks fantastic.
And high, yeah.
Yeah.
People are going more modern, more clean lines.
Right.
Certainly with the commercial, and you see that a lot with the residential nowadays.
Yes.
Here at Porter's, there's a lot of clean lines.
Yep.
As opposed to 20 years ago, it was a lot of arches, a lot of coral render, coral block, that sort of traditional. And you still see some of that nowadays, but I think people have been trending more towards the modern.
Interesting.
And porcelain tile as opposed to stone.
Yes.
Porcelain tile is, it's a very fantastic product and it's bulletproof. And the truth is, for the longevity here in the islands, it's probably the best thing to be using as opposed to wood or
which can
stone tile is lovely, but it can also wear over time.
Yeah.
Whereas porcelain doesn't have that.
It's robust.
Typically. It's very robust. Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Is there any one or more than one thing that excites you about the future of construction and development in Barbados? And if so, what is it or are they?
I think construction in Barbados, kind of everything, is an exciting time to be in.
Yeah.
We're definitely going through quite a boom.
Yes.
At the moment. There's a lot going on and a lot of exciting projects. We know we're not going to be in this boom forever. At some point it will slow, but we're going to take advantage, while we can and put our best foot forward. And I like being involved in the design of the project and being involved in from start to finish.
Yes. Yeah.
We've actually started getting into more of the design build, where we have more control over the entire process.
Okay. And that's working out all right?
Yeah, working out great so far. And that's the direction we would like to go in as much as possible. But that's certainly something that I'm kind of looking forward to getting more into.
Excellent. I'm going to shoot a few quick questions at you off the hip. What's the biggest misconception about building in Barbados?
That all the contractors are crooks, maybe.
That's fair enough.
There are some good ones out there.
Yeah.
There are some crooks out there.
Right. There are many
So,
good ones out there,
again,
and there are one or two
yeah.
crooks. Yeah. Fair enough.
Again, background checks.
Yes,
background checks
yeah.
background checks as much as possible.
Fair enough.
We do have good material here and good labor here. There are some excellent tradesmen and Barbadian born and bred and all that. That's obviously the labor pool is not as big, but they are very
Committed,
very good local guys that can do anything.
Yes. I'm assuming in order to take advantage of the good artisans and the guys and ladies that are really committed to their work, that really involves planning ahead so that you can secure them, so that you can get them. So trying to do it last minute is not going to work because they're normally sought after and busy. Yeah.
All the good guys are busy.
Right.
So yes, you don't need to give them planning and a lot of the good guys have their allegiances. A lot of those good guys have their allegiances to me.
Yeah.
And have their allegiances to some of the other bigger contractors as well.
Yes.
Man, they might have their own private little clients.
Of course.
It's not that they're out there, but they're obviously busy doing work for others.
Absolutely. What's the first thing a property owner should ask before hiring a builder?
Just check as a background checks, checking around with your architects, your thing, to see if he's reputable or not.
Yep.
Looking at his team, what resources he has.
Right. Okay.
In terms of support.
Yes.
If in case he needs to bring something in, does he have a warehouse?
Right.
To bring material in early?
Yep.
Or is it going to be dependent on landing stuff and bringing it straight into the home?
Right. Okay. Very good point.
Things like that. And again, today with these logistical things, I mean, that's a step we had to make into getting warehousing for that planning. So just checking what resources he has in terms of staff, equipment.
Yeah.
Depending on how high you're going, does he have the right scaffolding and everything to get the job done?
Yeah.
Does he have the right staff to get the job done? And obviously every project is different depending on what you're building.
But I guess as a client, you just want to find your own comfort that the person you're hiring knows what they're doing and has the resources to do what they say they're going to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair enough. What's one thing that always adds value to a construction project? Is there one thing that will always add value?
Hard to put it down to one thing. Can't think of a thing right now.
It's a variety of things that I guess contribute to
I would say, planning.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yes.
You cannot plan enough.
Right.
And just doing everything as early as possible.
Yeah.
You should be planning your finishes, while the building is in the foundation.
Right.
And things like that. Or even plan it before you even start.
Right.
As much as you can plan, the more you can get your materials in and everything is
makes
key.
all the difference.
Is key.
Yeah. Okay. This should be fun. What's the biggest logistical nightmare you've had and how did you solve it?
I would have to think about that one.
There's quite a few. All right, we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Okay, here's one. Island life versus building timelines. How do you manage that balance? And I know because I have known you for a long time and I know the hours that you work and they're not short. And so I see the days and the hours that you work. And so my question is, how do you draw a balance between the timelines, especially when things start to go a little bit pear-shaped? One, a life for yourself, and two, managing possibly island time, which is not necessarily going to always align with your expectations of time.
Yeah, it's a tricky one always in construction. Again, I think it just comes down to planning. We would normally, when we do a program for a project, have that on a 5-day week.
Right.
But we usually end up working 6. We'll end up working these Saturdays.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had a couple of projects now working 7 days a week, Sundays. But we have different crews that come in. We have Aventis crews that only work on a Sundays and not work on Saturdays and so on.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I've been born and raised here. So I understand the island life.
Yes.
And, when Kadooman is coming up, the fellas going to be partying.
Right. Yeah.
So you
manage that time accordingly.
You just need to manage that in.
Yeah,
It's like, rainy season is a certain time of the year as well. So you got to manage that into when you're doing your scheduling.
Makes sense. And clearly at the same time, you're managing your own time into that.
Managing my own
all
time.
All work and no play makes Danny a dull boy.
Oh yeah, definitely. One thing I've learned is that it's the book your holiday in and try as much as possible to stand
stick
by
to
it. If you leave it and say, well, when I don't get busy, I'll book something.
Right.
It never
It won't
happens
happen.
because
Yeah.
you never, something's always going on.
Fair enough. Makes sense. Why is project management just as important as building itself?
The planning of it.
The planning,
Yeah. Anybody could build anything, but today with the logistics issues and the coordination between client, their thoughts of what something should look like,
Yep.
And the architect and what they think it should look like.
Yep. Yes.
And reality of what it actually takes to achieve that type of materials and how long these things are going to take to actually get done. And the planning part of it is key. And that's where a lot of the project management falls into.
What I'm taking here from our last 20, 25 minutes is the two things that are really key are planning and background checks. Now, obviously, the background checks are taken care of by you as a project manager because you know what you're dealing with. But for someone who's coming onto the island or into the arena of construction, it is all about planning and all about background checks. Just making sure that you know who you're dealing with and planning ahead so that your expectations are as closely met as possible.
Yeah.
For those who are considering coming into construction to build their own dream home or to have it built for them. That's what I'm getting from here. Is that right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
It's for you new ones coming in. If you don't know anybody in Ireland, is to start checking around.
Yeah.
As much as possible and build that team. I mean, it'll be up to that team. If you need a project manager and you choose that person, knowing and clearly communicating with them to have everything in place and clearly communicating with your architect and your engineer, as early as possible and give them as much information as possible.
Yes.
That they can help you because at the end of the day, they're, everybody's going to be pushing to the same goal.
Correct. Well, I am delighted that you could, and I know taking away from your work is a big ask. So firstly, again, I should say, thank you very much for taking the time to come and sit with me, Danny. Really interesting stuff, as always. I'm seeing One Builders doing lots of stuff and expanding all over the place. Long may it last, and hopefully we'll do some more stuff together going forward. Danny, thank you so much, man. Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.